Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Melinda and I do a lot of content surrounding beauty and makeup related things, a little bit of adoption, foster care, a little bit of home and DIY, mostly beauty. So today I wanted to talk about a brand that I had not previously heard of, but it arrived in my mailbox last week. So Salt New York sent me a whole bag of their products to try out, and I'm not super familiar with this brand, but it's very exciting because they're formulated by a makeup artist. They're hand poured in New York City, so kept in the United States. There's 20 inclusive shades. They're refillable, reusable, vegan, cruelty-free, and zero waste, which is awesome. So if you guys would like to see what I'm talking about, then just keep watching. First off, let's talk about their packaging. They have two palettes. There's a larger one and a smaller one. They sent me both of them, which is amazing. They have a zipper closure, and inside they have a nice large mirror, which is really, really nice for traveling. It's very, very sturdy. And each of their little square pans were packaged in these little recyclable paper packets, if you will. And on the back, it lists the ingredients. It also says what it is. So it says if it's a lip and cheek cream product, or if it's a sculpt and bronze product, or if it's a highlight product. So they have three different categories. It's either like bronzing and sculpting, it's a color for the lips or the cheeks, or it is a brightening, highlighting product. So those are the three different products. And I like that they come in these little envelopes because you can recycle them. But inside, to protect the cream product, they have a hard cardboard square, which is nice because I've gotten so many shadows where there's just a shadow inside a packet and they get like dinged by fingers or people touching them. This protects the product so that even if you're to go like this, not realizing, it wouldn't affect the pan of the product. So now that I've talked about the packaging and the palettes, let's talk about the product. This is what the pans of product look like. This one fits 8 and they sent me 9. That's probably why they sent me the small and large palettes, because they can't all fit in one. Or sometimes you just need like 4 blushes and they fit perfectly in here, so that's perfect. But I put the shades that I thought I would use in this larger palette today so that we could use them all. So down here we have the contour shade, and then we have a light and light medium bronze shade. We have 2 highlighting shades, and then we have the 2 blush shades that I thought I would use the most often. The other 2 are in here. It's like a brighter red and a burgundy shade. So I have already applied my moisturizer, my foundation, and a little bit of concealer. So I figured we would dive into trying these cream products before I have any powders on my face. So I think I'm going to start with the contour and see how that goes. I usually apply my contour with a brush, so that's what I'm going to start with. So these are magnetic, and the names are on the back. So on the back of this one, it says Salt New York Sculpt and Bronze Creme Tint Pro Contour. And so in case you ever want to reorder, the names are on the back and they just click right in. And this is also magnetic as well. So even if it's not zipped, it will stay shut. So this is the shade of the contour product right here. The mirror is not the best quality, like my face is slightly distorted. So that's just my first observation. This is the side with the contour applied with the brush. I think I want to try the other side with a sponge. I'm just going to grab, I think this is the Illuminati sponge from BoxyCharm. Okay, so side with a sponge is a little bit chunkier, not as precise, but that's just the nature of applying things with a sponge versus a brush. I mean, so far it's fine. It definitely has a lot of shine to it. Like you can just see on the back of my hand, like it's quite a shiny product. This is not a matte contour product. And it seems like it does set down a bit, but there's still like a layer of shine to it. So we'll see how this all sets down as we continue working with it. Next, let's try the bronzer shades. We have light and we have light medium. So light is more of like a peach shade, and light medium is more of like a yellow tone shade. So I think I'm gonna start with the peachy tone one on the perimeter of my face. We'll just keep going with the sponge and see what happens. All right, it's giving me a nice peachy glow on the forehead, but it's not building up a ton. I prefer my products to build a little bit more. These are taking application after application after application, so they're not building up quickly. So I'm gonna try the light medium shade, which is a bit more like yellowy tone. That one seems to be a lot more pigmented. And I would say you should probably have your hair pulled back for this because these are all very like creamy, sticky products, if you will, at least until they're set. So we have contour, a little bit of both bronzers on. Now I think I want to move on to the blush. I usually apply my blush with a brush like this if it's a cream product. Let's see what these two shades look like. All right, so we have Rose, which is this one right here. And we have Peach, which is right here. I will build them up a little bit more so you can see them. Rose and Peach. I definitely think these will take multiple applications to get a lot of color. All of these seem to be very sheer, lightweight, natural type of products. And like I said, I'm not super familiar with the brand. That might be their aesthetic, very natural, very dewy, fresh makeup. So I think I'll start off with Peach just because that's the color I usually go for, as you can see from my blush brush. All right, so Peach. Oh, okay, that's pretty. That's pretty. It's a nice, natural, flush look, and I appreciate that. My go-to blush is this one from Neutrogena. So very similar shades, so I like that one. I feel like I would also like Rose. It isn't like straight pink, but let me swatch the other two blushes for you just so you have them for reference, I guess. The third blush they have is called Coral. And it looks like that. Again, very sheer until it is built up. That's actually not very bright. That seems very similar to the other two. And you can see that they're very like, a very greasy consistency. There you go. You have to get past that first layer of like oil to really get the color payoff. So there's Coral. And the fourth shade is Spice, which is definitely a bit deeper. Right there. And I did want to mention, after looking into the brand a bit more, that it seems that they created two blushes for each skin tone, one cool tone and one warm tone for every skin tone, which I really appreciate. And that is really just a matter of preference if someone likes warm or cool tones on their skin. I feel like I could probably get away with the top three. Not sure about Spice, but Spice might make a really pretty lip color. So they said you can use these on your lips as well. These are lip and cheek tints, so let's try this on the lip. So here is Spice as a lip tint. It feels nice. It's like a nice thin lip balm. So this is Spice as the lip tint, and it does just tint the lips. It doesn't stay shiny or greasy or anything like that. This is actually really pretty. I like this color on here. So here are the shades of blush. So now let's move on to highlights. They have two shades. There is Pearl and Beige, and I did swatch Beige earlier, and I don't think that will be the shade for me. It's just a little bit too golden. But here they are. We have Pearl and we have Beige right here. So here we have Pearl and Beige. Beige is going to be a bit too dark for me. Pearl is a bit light, but we will do our best to make it work. I feel like I probably should mix the two. I wonder what that would look like. So if I have Pearl and beige mixed together. That might work. That's the two mixed together. It might still have too dark of a base color for me to do that, so I'm going to stick with pearl for now. And I'm just going to use my finger to tap it onto the high points of my cheeks. And that blended out very easily. It went on looking a bit like icy and harsh, but as soon as I started blending it out, it just looked like a beautiful glow. That's really pretty. So this is the way that the Salt Makeup Cream products look on my face. I think they look nice, but I definitely need to powder my under eyes. My concealer is already creasing and making me look much older than I actually am. So I'm not sure if I can get away with all cream products. I feel like I still need to powder a bit. Right now, things still feel a bit sticky. I don't think this would last very long if you have oily or combination skin, which I have combination skin. I don't know. I just don't feel like these cream products will set on my face. So I will give it a couple of hours without setting it to see what happens. It's 9 a.m. right now, so I'll give this until about lunchtime to see if it does set on its own or if it is slipping and sliding all over the place. I am going to set my under eyes just because I kind of have to. But I will leave it as is, and I will check back with you guys in a couple hours to let you know how it's wearing without being set. Typically, I would put like a translucent powder like this one from Covergirl all over or something similar, but then I'm not sure if the product would show through. So we'll leave it as is for a couple hours. I'll come back and powder in a couple hours and see what happens in the meantime and what happens once I set it down. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, so it's been on for 3 hours and you can just see how shiny my forehead is, especially the cheeks. I mean, my nose area didn't have any of those salt products, but I need to powder clearly. So I'm very shiny. The product is coming off when I touch my face. And the color is also kind of wearing away a little bit. So it's not super long lasting. I do feel like it needs to be set with a powder product, probably translucent powder and then powder bronzer and blush, because I don't see any of that blush color left on my face. So what I'll do is when my son takes a nap, I will go ahead and reapply all of the cream products, and then I'll use a translucent powder on top and see if the color even shows or if I have to put an additional powder product on top. So stay tuned. Okay, this is how it looks with the studio lights. Clearly very washed out. So I'm going to reapply and then powder with the translucent powder. So we'll see how that goes. Let's start off with our contour. The contour of all of the creams I feel like did last the best. Okay, so I've applied the rose blush and the contour, and you can just see how shiny this makes me. It isn't like other cream products where it kind of sinks into the skin and sets. It stays shiny and greasy. So I went a little heavy on everything. I'm gonna take my Covergirl translucent powder and dust it on and see what happens. Okay, so we've got before, very shiny, very dewy. And after, you can still see the color through, which is nice. But I'm just not sure that this is the formula for someone that has already combination to oily skin. It looks nice and smooth, but I do wonder how long it will stay like this because it is a slippery product to begin with. So my conclusion at this point is that They take quite a bit of layering to see the color, with the exception of the blush. I feel like the blush is very impactful, very bright from the get-go. The contour and 2 bronzing shades require some building, and the highlight shades, they don't require building unless you really want like a strobe. You can get a nice subtle glow pretty much right away. So I would say that the contour and bronzing shades are the ones that need to be built up the most. But they do show up under powder. Let's see if the highlight works on top of powder. Just going into Pearl. Just tapping it on lightly on my cheeks. And that looks really nice. So these look like they can be used on top of powder. So it's a nice subtle glow applied on top of powder. So I like that. So my initial thoughts are a little bit on the greasy, slippery side. The pigment is pretty decent for most of them, but I just don't know how much I'm going to reach for these because they require so much powdering. I feel like already I'm getting shiny on the forehead where I used the bronzing shades. So I just don't know. I'm not one of those people that like the shiny, completely dewy look. It just looks a bit greasy for me, but I like it on the cheekbones. So perhaps I would use a little bit of the bronzer before I apply a powder bronzer, or a little bit of this cream highlight, which is actually really pretty, under a powder highlight for more impact. And like I said, the one product on the lips was quite nice. So I did like this as a lip stain. I'm just applying rose to the lips. So as a lip stain, they're really pretty. As a cheek product, they're very intense in color, which is good. They're definitely going to show up. I don't really know. I feel like I'm on the fence about this line. I like that it's zero waste, cruelty-free, vegan, refillable, reusable. So I like the concept behind the products. I'm just not sure how much I like the products themselves. I'm just being completely honest. As I mentioned, this was sent to me, so I'm very grateful. Thank you, Salt, for sending this over. I think I will continue to use the contour shade and the highlights because I don't mind having a little bit of shine here. But I'll let you guys know if that changes. I will do my best to try this for the next couple of weeks, and I will put an update here when I'm editing the video to let you know what I think after several weeks of trying them. So I've been using these products for the last several weeks, and what you're seeing here is a day that I used the cream products before fully powdering, and I used a loose powder, and it lasted well all day long. You can still see the blush color, the contour, the bronzer. I did not use the highlight, but I'm actually a big fan of these. They've been working out really well when I fully powder my face. I think the secret for me was using a loose powder versus a pressed powder. It seemed to control the oil a lot better on my combination skin. Yes, I still got a little oily in the T-zone, but nothing like it was upon first application. But I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about the brand, seeing how their adorable palettes work, swatches of the products, and a try on. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and as always, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.